Fitness marketing heavily pushes high-impact, exhaustion-focused workouts designed for younger bodies. This approach is effective when your joints and hormones recover overnight. But as you enter your 30s, 40s, and 50s, the biological reality changes. Your primary goal has to transition away from simply trying to burn as many calories as possible. The new priorities are structural longevity, maintaining bone density, and protecting your functional core and pelvic health. This creates a confusing dilemma. You are often told to focus entirely on deep breathing, while others insist you must lift heavy barbells, or that 5 minutes a day is all you need. The truth is that most of this advice is correct, but only if it matches your current situation. Failing to align your life constraints with your fitness protocol is exactly why many women plateau, burn out, or end up with a preventable injury. To find what actually works for you, look at this chart. We can evaluate every fitness recommendation using two metrics: how hard it is to execute and how much it actually changes your body. Friction is the horizontal axis. It represents the cost of the workout, the time, the money for equipment, and the commute required to actually show up. Adaptation is the vertical axis. This is the physiological outcome, ranging from basic mobility and rehab at the bottom to maximal strength and bone density at the top. We can map the entire fitness industry here. A yoga mat sits in the bottom left because it has low friction, but also low physiological adaptation. A heavy barbell is in the top right, high adaptation, but extremely high friction. By categorizing your options into 3 distinct tiers on this chart, you can decide exactly which equipment is worth your money. Tier 1 requires 10 to 15 minutes a day and exactly 0 equipment. These are movements meant to be done entirely on the floor of your home. The effort here isn't about physical exhaustion. It requires intense mental focus on breath work and reestablishing your mind-muscle connection. The goal is to produce specific outcomes, stopping pelvic floor leakage and rebuilding your foundational movement patterns. This tier is the primary target for diastasis recti, or the separation of the abdominal muscles. This diagram illustrates what happens during diastasis recti. Deep, unweighted core breathing is often the only safe way to create the internal tension needed to pull these muscle structures back together. However, Tier 1 has a strict trade-off. It will not build systemic muscle mass, it won't improve your bone density, and it won't drive significant metabolic changes. Think of Tier 1 as the foundation of a house. It is essential to build it first, but it is not the entire house. Tier 2 involves a moderate investment, usually a budget of $100 to $250 for adjustable dumbbells, resistance bands, and a quality mat. The time commitment is 30 to 40 minutes in your living room. The major benefit here is removing the friction of a gym commute, which is often the biggest barrier to consistency. This tier allows for the application of progressive overload, the physiological requirement for building lean muscle. This graph illustrates how muscle capacity responds to load. If the weight remains static, your progress plateaus. Muscles only grow when they are continually exposed to heavier resistance over time. Adjustable dumbbells solve the problem of progressive overload within a tiny footprint. As you get stronger, you simply increase the weight on the dial to keep the adaptation going. The trade-off is that you will eventually become too strong for home equipment. This will specifically tap your progress on heavy lower body movements, like squats, where your legs can handle far more weight than a handheld dumbbell provides. Tier 2 is the ultimate tool for consistency and baseline strength, but it carries a hard physiological ceiling. Tier 3 is a 4-day-a-week commitment. It requires 60 to 80 minutes per session and access to a full commercial gym. This is the most effective way to maximize lean muscle growth and significantly improve bone density as you age. To trigger these maximal adaptations, you have to move weights that require a squat rack and a barbell. Body weight and light dumbbells aren't enough to create this level of systemic change. But Tier 3 comes with a hidden cost: systemic recovery. To make progress in this tier, you have to manage your life outside the gym. That means hitting high protein targets, around 1 gram per pound of body weight, and securing 8 hours of quality sleep. If you accept the high friction of a gym, but fail at the recovery side, the heavy weights will lead to joint burnout and injury rather than strength. Tier 3 demands that you build your lifestyle around your workout, which makes it a difficult choice if your time or energy is already overextended. There is no objectively best piece of equipment. There is only the right tool for your current biological and scheduling capacity. You can find your path using this decision matrix. It breaks down by your three primary constraints: energy, commute, or the need for maximal results. If you are postpartum, dealing with pelvic leakage, or only have 10 minutes a day, don't buy anything. Focus on Tier 1 to rebuild your structural foundation. If you have a solid foundation but know a gym commute will kill your consistency, invest your budget in Tier 2 adjustable dumbbells and work from your living room. If you are over 40, your joints are healthy, and you want the most significant shift possible in your bone density and body composition, commit to the gym and Tier 3. Buying expensive equipment for the wrong tier is a fast route to quitting. You don't need a suspension trainer if what you actually need is pelvic floor rehab. Diagnosing your current season of life is the first step. Once you accept the trade-offs of your tier and stay consistent, the physical results will follow.